Oh hey, it's Max Landis, writer of such films as Chronicle, American Ultra, and Victor Frankenstein.
Hi Mike, I'm so excited to finally be here in the film capital of the world, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, we're glad to have you here, Max.
Oh my God, you're Max Landis. Your father directed the Blues Brothers 2000.
That's right, and he directed the first one too.
There was a first one?
Oh no.
Well everyone, what do you say we watch some terrifying movies?
Yeah. I've seen something terrifying. Hell. Because that's where my soul went after I died.
What?
You should have fucking stayed in hell, you piece of shit.
Well, Max, let's watch some films. Now, today we're going to do a battle of the genres.
Incredibly, the cover actually has orange and teal on it. A lot of people who follow film looks and the evolution of the way films are looking now, that around like 2004, orange and teal became the dominant colors in everything because it makes skin tone look richer and it makes sci-fi stuff look cooler. But they've taken orange and teal, and what appears to be happening here are two floating heads looking, one guy kind of looks like John Cena, and one guy kind of looks like Clark Kent, kind of, and they're looking sort of cross each other, and two smaller thems have appeared in floating balls. And this guy has the red ball, and as you can tell, this guy has blue balls. That used to be like a thing, like in the early 2000s, there were so many different like fan films and stuff, and people were constantly like, when the real movies started to get made, people were like, they're gonna give a cameo or a nod or anything, and never, not once did they ever do it.
I think they actually took a dump on Dan Poole.
Yeah, I remember that. It made Variety.
Yeah.
It was incredible. They were like, Dan Poole brought to Hollywood, they told him, we're gonna give you a cameo. And he was like, oh, cool. And they went, no, it's a cameo bag.
Yeah, that would be kind of great.
When he and his cousin Jay are affected by an experimental technology, Derek decides to shut them down, but he may have to go through his cousin to do it.
I'm so excited.
Dan Poole must have hit his head a couple times while swinging around on those ropes.
Look at the pose of this guy.
Yeah, he's running.
It looks like an exercise video.
Alpha Dog Productions, quality.
I'm sorry, I'm still not over the syntax of a guy deciding to shut him and his own cousin down, but then he'd have to go through his cousin to do it. That's a really incredible grammatical fuck up.
It's intentionally left vague, just so we're interested in the film, I guess. I don't know.
Next film is How I Saved the President. You can see it's from the brand Feature Films for Families. So you know what we're getting into. It features a kid who looks like very embarrassed and kind of nervous on the cover, like he doesn't want to be there, or maybe he's holding in a fart, as well as two animals awkwardly photoshopped behind him on what appears to be a pedestal in front of an American flag. 9-year-old Max Anderson has a big problem. He knows about an evil plot to kill the president, and no one believes him.
Wait, there's a Max and a J. This is getting weird. Continue, I'm sorry. I'm sure there's going to be a Rich and Double Down.
So adults don't usually believe in talking dogs.
Unless you're the son of Sam.
But Max is certain that the tip from the would-be assassin's pet dog is a sure thing. The dog ratted out his owner as he and his human and animal friends set out to stop the sinister plan. His parents, the police, and even his bodyguard discredit his suspicion. Max has a bodyguard? When the agent Clyde, that guy, finally begins to catch on, time is running out, but they must act quickly to save the president's life. This story reminds us that doing the right thing isn't always easy, and heroes come in all sizes, approximately 74 minutes. On the back here, you can see that there's a parent's guide, and I think in the discussion after the movie, we should probably address the family discussions we're suggested to have on the back.
Oh, absolutely, because we are all a family.
Yep.
Now, our last film, brought to us by KFC, is Double Down. Apparently, is it starring Neil Breen?
Yes, both of Neil Breen's films are starring Neil Breen.
And he directs them.
And he directs them and writes them and shoots them, and everything is just him.
Okay.
It's literally like watching someone's dream. Fateful Findings is like watching someone have a bad dream.
He's very proud of his face. He gives us no information, and he has a tiny Las Vegas sign stuck in his neck. But apparently he's just in love with himself or something. I don't know. Is that him?
Yeah.
Or is that an actor?
That's him. That's Neil Breen.
Yeah, so
Neil Breen is an actor.
no, all right.
Read the review.
Stunning desperation, 4 stars. Wow.
Stunning desperation.
The winner,
feel like
dangerously
I
controversial.
feel like that was a review I got on Tinder once. Stunning desperation.
The controversial story of a lone genius who closes down the Las Vegas Strip. I don't know how or why, but the government can't stop him, and he reunites with his dead girlfriend each night. That's the synopsis.
Both of the Neil Breen films I'm familiar with feature a overabundance of ideas, mainly centered around him having secret knowledge and being a genius. People constantly complimenting him for being a genius. It's sort of like In the Room, where they're like, "You're such a good guy, Tommy," the whole movie, or Johnny, "You're such a good guy," except for in this, he's a genius. Can you run us through what's happening on the back of?
Well,
Because it looks like a lot.
I can barely read the font.
Just so, I mean, like, it's black text overlaid on an image. An edgy action thriller set in Las Vegas during a terrorist attack. A genius computer loaner takes control of the city and the attack as he fights with his fits of overwhelming depression and obsessions with love and death. Are you scared? Because you should be. Bang! Neil Breen.
Now, let's make some predictions. Do you think they film anywhere near the Las Vegas Strip? Or just show a picture of it?
You know what? I think it's going to be in the movie.
You think so?
I think Neil Breen is crazy enough and doesn't understand permits.
Okay.
And this probably isn't any kind, there's no kind of union involvement. There's probably no kind of production company involved. So I would be unsurprised if he just goes out there and steals shots.
I'm going to predict there's a shot of him walking down the strip and some guy holding the camera secretly, and it's like, you know, really terrible looking. And then the rest of it is stock footage or stuff he shot from a hotel room window.
I mean, we should be so lucky.
We'll see. We'll see. Double Down just went down.
Dude, that's why I wanted to meet you, man, because you're funny.
I didn't find that funny.
Oh, the rock is in the tube.
There's the magic rock
all along.
That's the rock that cures brain cancer. It was in a tuna can.
Of course.
Where else would it be?
Where would you keep it?
Shooting the people in
I
the
don't
blood.
know.
Where's his vest with his medals? What is going on? Why did he fall on the ground?
I can't go on with this.
Can't do anything. What the fuck are you doing?
This is an outtake.
And I love this country. My country.
I'm laughing, but I don't know if I'm laughing or screaming.
I love small talk. What I love about it is that it's small.
It's very small.
You can fit it anywhere.
Yeah, you can put it in your pocket.
Stick it in there. Like you put worms in your butt.
Max Landis.
Thank you, Jay. I'm so happy to be here for you guys simultaneously jumping the shark and selling out. It's thrilling, but you want me to be Scrappy-Doo? I'll be your Scrappy-Doo. Here I am. Before we get into this, I feel so much closer to all of you.
That's what Best of the Worst does, yeah.
I feel like we have a sacred bond. I feel like we were in a foxhole together.
It's like a boot camp.
Best of the
Bad
Worst.
movie boot camp. Yeah.
It brings people together by tearing other people apart.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, it was 3 different emotions, because at first it was like, haha, we're having fun watching a bad movie. Then it was like, this movie's really bad. And then it was like, the end of 2001, what's happening to my brain? Like, that was insane.
It was all stupid Spukaki all over all of our faces.
everybody.
That's click the link here to find out what he's talking about.
Oh my God. Max, can you explain the plot of Chronicle 0.5.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting because I compared it to Chronicle while we were watching it. It fucking sucks. But the thing about this movie,
What, Chronicle or the photon effects?
probably both.
Okay.
The thing about this movie that was really strange for me, and I brought it up repeatedly during the movie because it was like blowing my mind, was it's a terrible movie that contains a couple of really cool choices. It's about a guy and his cousin who are electricity repairmen who both get superpowers in different ways.
They're constantly up on poles.
And they're up on poles and they kind of fight a bad guy maybe, and then one of them gets fart powers. There's a lot to unpack here. But the thing that's interesting about the movie and the thing that stuck with me is that there's a character in it who at the beginning of the movie you go, oh, one of these guys is gonna go good and one of them is gonna go bad and it's gonna be that thing. And then that doesn't happen. There's a character in it who's a self-destructive alcoholic who throughout the movie is true to that, is a self-destructive alcoholic. So if it was a better movie, the idea of a self-destructive alcoholic gets superpowers, he never turns bad. Yeah. They act like he's gonna turn bad, but then whenever you think he's gonna make the evil choice, he just makes a bad, impulsive, destructive choice. And I thought that was really interesting.
Remember the opening title?
They're doing a heist
yeah.
and it's a comic book.
It's
and
done
it
in like
keeps
a-
going
yeah.
into like comic mode, but there's like, you can't tell. It's the weirdest way to start a movie because just from frame one, it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, we don't know what's happening.
And then the guy goes, do you remember when he shoots
Oh,
the laser
little
out of
pew
his?
pews out of his finger.
Kool-Aid Man was here.
Oh yeah.
The story choices are just bizarre, but they're so bizarre that they almost work.
Whoa.
Well, that was my favorite part of the movie, was that the evil corporation is like, we'll use this guy we can manipulate because he's a stupid, destructive idiot and give him powers. But then they give him powers and he's like, I'm a stupid, destructive idiot. And the evil corporation is like, oh, this is already out of control. Yeah.
He's constantly sucking on that tube to rehydrate himself.
Just do that again.
He's constantly sucking on that tube. Why did you want me to do that again?
By the way, not only is he sucking on his tube, he's also sucking on someone else's tube.
Well, yeah.
And at one point, he's like trying to like offer everyone around him.
Yeah, they're
like,
constantly like just nothing but tube sucking.
Well, he wants, it's filled with his protein. He's just offering his protein to other people.
Okay, so he's like protein,
Yeah,
protein.
give me
I need
some
protein.
protein.
Yeah, yeah.
The amount of coincidences in this movie, I wanted to try to do a count. So can we just start tossing out the amount of coincidences? I'll start. The lady who got robbed happened to work at the good corporation that specializes in exactly the powers the one guy will eventually get.
Yes.
They call them waxers.
The waxers? Okay. Is that what they call them in LA?
Yeah, man. There's a scene where there's a motorcyclist being chased by the police.
Okay.
So they show a cop car, except for the motorcyclist is just going next to it. And you realize that on that day they drove around until they found a cop car, drove next to it, and then in post add the flashing light. We haven't even talked about Michael B. Jordan, tiny Caucasian, and fake De Niro. We haven't even mentioned them.
They're security guards. Because when the cousin goes to see his ex-girlfriend at the science place, they show out and they try to escort him away. And then
That was like one of my favorite scenes, was the guy, this character who you're like have heard is sort of a destructive guy. Like, you know how in Ant-Man they keep fucking saying like, you're a bad guy, you need to get better. But you never see an example of him being a bad guy. He just seems like nice Paul Rudd. Well, like, a thing that I actually liked in this movie was he shows up at his ex-girlfriend's job, driving drunk, attacks a security guard, and is like, just come out and talk to me for a minute. And then supervillains,
Laser Man,
go like, fuck off. Yeah. Which honestly, like in any other movie, it would be like, good, that guy's a drunk asshole. Yeah. And then they decide to give him superpowers. Can we talk about how the hunk factor?
you can talk about that if you wish.
No, that's what made me choke on the water, I believe. His jaw is shaped like this. It's if it were my head, it would be like like that. It was incredible. And the bad guy's head is an upside down triangle with curly hair glued to the top.
Are you talking about Janusz?
This movie had one action gag that was executed super well and funny and cool, and I think we all know the gag. Yeah, that when when it happened,
yeah.
I was like, whoa! It was like a Matrix thing where it was like that was really cool.
And that shit never happened again.
Oh, okay, so there's that. All right.
It's an energy thing.
Yeah.
Hey! He just knew he could do that.
Yeah, it was cool.
I like that.
That's his other
That
superpower.
was a cool moment.
Yeah, and nothing cool happens again. The only other cool powers thing that happens is the fart attack.
I guess when you're in a position of power, you can do anything you want to other people, can't you? Like this.
Oh, really?
It's my fart ray.
He sucked the fart out of him.
What happens is
He runs off camera and he's like, I just shot my... And then,
there's a fucking fart noise. Is there a fart noise?
There's a fart noise! Like that! He goes, it's a wide shot of the car, the cop goes, he goes, pew!
like he shot
Like
his
that! He shot his pants!
It feels like we're just wasting time. We're just killing time even talking about these two.
I thought you were going to say wasting our life.
Well, we are wasting our lives. That's very obviously
Let's fuck this
clear.
shit. Let's get off the photon effect and let's talk about some fucking dogs.
This movie isn't even listed on Family Films' website. This movie doesn't exist.
Just so we're clear, midway through this movie, all of the actors are going to turn and look directly at us and start bleeding from the eyes and mouth. And one of them is going to say, "Now you will kill the president." What if this is haunted? What if what we're watching is fucking haunted?
You guys, did you think about this?
The movie ends, we get call 7 days.
It also has tonal similarities to a lot of 90s films. It's much better made than either of the other two movies.
Yes, yes,
It
definitely.
has a lot of tonal similarities to my father's film, Home Alone.
It's a great film.
It is. It's great. Starring Macaulay Culkin. And its name is pronounced Macaulay.
Cow.
We love Macaulay Culkin, by the way.
We do, yeah.
I love him. I love him.
The movie would have been better if it was told from the perspective of the kid being told to kill the president by his dog.
He's just kind of like alone in the backyard, sad, kind of playing with a ball. And then the first time you hear the dog talk, the dog just walks up to him. You have to kill the president.
Well, there was a moment during this movie where we were all just repeatedly going, "Kill the president." Like, and that was the watching experience of the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Clyde. I don't know who Clyde is.
Clyde is Melora Hardin from The Office.
Why does she have a man's name?
Because she's tough. And in the 90s, you couldn't be tough if you weren't a man.
That's not a very progressive attitude.
I just want to say, stop being so fucking gender binary. It's possible she was a man who just dressed and identified as a woman.
Okay, that's fair, yeah. What have you done that you didn't want to do, but did anyway because you knew it was wrong?
It reminded me of another movie that has really really sort of well done, professional-esque seeming cinematography, but is just a transparent piece of shit. My father's film, Mac and Me. And where you...
Film about Macaulay Culkin and the alien?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's my film about Macaulay Culkin and me. Okay. How did Max Landis die? Well, he said too many stupid things in a row. And he had a brain aneurysm in Wisconsin. Okay, back to it, guys.
So our final film of the night, possibly of our entire lives, because I don't think there's anywhere to go but downhill from here, was Double Down, written, directed, and starring...
and edited and sound
edited, sound Neil Breen, Rich Evans. Please explain the plot of Neil Breen's Double Down.
In detail.
In detail.
Me?
Yes.
You're looking at the cover like it's gonna help you. There's no help for you there.
It's just his face.
I'm gonna say his face really kind of conveys everything.
There is no God for you now, Rich Evans.
He's stopping the terrorists that he started?
How good is he at this stuff?
Because his dead wife would want that because they had to kill the wife because he's too good at his job.
We'll always be together.
Rich, do we see his ball sack?
If they killed him, they can't kill him because if they kill him, then he'll kill everyone in the country. So they can't kill him. So they kill his wife.
Yes, no. Do we see his ball
but
sack?
not his family that we meet for one scene.
How good is he at this?
He's the best at
Rich,
this.
do we see his ball sack?
Talk about his ball sack.
Yes, we see his ball sack. We see his ball sack. He's the best. He has the best ball sack.
Rich.
And then he walks up a hill.
Rich, who are the
Or
people
maybe he
by the
runs
train?
away from the hill. But then he wakes up by his car.
Who are the people
and
by the
his
train?
car, it's written "Help me in blood."
Who are the people by the train, Rich?
What train? I don't even remember the train.
When the black guy, and he shoots him in the head.
Who the What? Hey!
What the fuck is happening?
Oh God, no! I thought you were talking about his family, who showed up in one scene.
Who are his mom and dad? Are they
Who
alive
might
or
not be
dead?
his family. Well, they're dead, but he talks to them, and he asks them if he's dead. But he doesn't know if they don't know if he's dead, or do they know?
Is
I
his
don't
wife
know
a
what they
skull?
know.
Is she a skull or a ghost?
Well, sometimes she's a ghost, sometimes she's a skull, sometimes she's naked in a pool.
Did you say a ghost?
She's a ghost.
Like a skull ghost?
She's a skull. There might be a skull ghost. Sometimes she's just like a bit of hair that's sticking out of his sack.
Rich,
And
how much?
sometimes she's a skull
Rich,
that's sticking out of his sack.
How much stock footage is in this movie? Is it a little bit or a lot?
This movie is nothing but stuff. It's meaningless, empty stuff.
Hey, where's next to his car in the
With
desert?
no shirt under it.
Remember when he doesn't have a shirt on and then he has a shirt on and then he's shooting nobody?
Oh yeah, he shot at nobody in this movie. I forgot about that.
He keeps answering the phone and no one called and he didn't.
No, I think the best scene is when he's assassinating somebody for some reason, because the only way you can fight somebody is to kill somebody that they know. So
You kill your family to kill their
So
spirit.
it turns out they already killed themselves because they knew that Neil Breen was coming for them.
They killed themselves by shooting themselves directly in the forehead
While sitting next to each other.
God, end this nightmare! Honestly, our review for this movie, us all just descending into lunacy while Rich tried to explain, I started weeping. I don't know if you registered on film, I was full crying, and not in like a ha-ha way, like in like the end of 2001. I was a monkey looking at a monolith. I saw myself as a baby floating in space. Fuck this movie. Fuck this. 7 days. I feel like I just witnessed something not of this earth. The sacred question of this movie is, would I have sat all the way through it if I didn't have you guys going on this journey with me? And the answer is really simple. No!
How did he get a Rolls Royce?
Because he's not driving it. Look, there's no road.
Like, why are you asking all these questions?
Yeah, it's not worth it anymore, I guess.
No.
Fucking questions, but
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done wondering anything about this movie. I'm just letting it go.
I'm on the floor.
Couch is slightly behind.
I was like slid.
The movie, it's incomprehensible. It's literally incomprehensible. The question is, did it make sense to Neil Breen when he wrote it? Yes. Because he's a crazy man.
Well, it's the Ed Wood hyper sincerity mixed with the David Lynch, I'm making this movie for me and no one else. Yeah. Like all of his like weird political statements during the movie that are literally just him talking directly to camera, just like, this biochemical warfare, we live in a good pour there, Mike.
It's all head.
It's all head.
There's so much to say. It's a complex masterpiece.
It's Alejandro Jodorowsky plus David Lynch plus a 14-year-old who just heard about Like, it's like Holden Caulfield wrote it. Like, yo, man, the world's fucked up, and it's lucky that I, Neo, am here to save the world from everything. It's, oh, Jesus. Oh my God, just looking at it is giving me weird flashbacks.
It's like Holden Caulfield wrote it after a traumatic brain injury.
But like the whole movie feels like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Is the most like succinct. I felt like I was watching someone else dream.
Yeah, he's an idiot narcissist.
Yeah.
An idiot narcissist.
Jodorowsky is
incredibly
a brilliant
pretentious. Alejandro Jodorowsky is genius. There is an element of genius here, though. There is. We can all acknowledge it. Something cool is happening. It's just happening in the worst way ever. Agree?
Agree.
Sure. It's genius, though, by virtue of everything being wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double Down defines best of the worst in a way that it maybe never has been defined before. It is the best at being the worst.
Okay. Yeah.
Fuck you, Victoria Jackson.
Linda Shane.
Linda Shane?
You should be ashamed of yourself. Okay, I guess.
Okay. I'm taking this to Hollywood.
What is it that you seek?
I have come from the land of Milwaukee to see the master.
Have you brought the sacred offering? A children's film from the 1990s.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not my first rodeo. Right? Pretty good?
Oh yes, this will please the master.
What tasty treat have you brought me, my angel of darkness?
How I saved the president, Master Culkin.
Semi-recognizable child star from the 90s. So pink, so fleshy. You know my ways. Absorbing children's films from the 1990s is how I keep myself forever young.
Yeah, no, I know that, Mac. I've actually never been this far into Glendale before, so Whoa! Hi. Oh, master, what is this about?
Now witness the becoming. I will be born again! I shall be young again, young and beautiful. People will like me. People used to like me.
When I was young.